Web3, Metaverse. Now I'm getting into technical terms, and many may wonder, what does any of this have to do with the global system and foreign affairs? Let's look at it. Web3 is the third iteration of the internet. Web 1 was about display, throwing up a website and telling the world something. Web 2 was about interaction, social media and the like. Web 3 is about ownership and the exchange of value. What does any of that mean? What kind of ownership? Well, it's ownership over digital assets. And digital assets can be a wide range of things. They can be ownership records over physical assets. They can be ownership of data. They can be data collected about our online activities, but also by sensors about our bodies. It can be data that we create at work. It can be data that has been collected by our IoT devices, one of the trillion or so that are being embedded in all aspects of our physical existence. It can be designs that we have created in software tools. It can be articles we wrote, videos we created, images we created, anything that we consider value and that is stored in digital form. If we now identify clearly who the person is that owns this, or who the entity or the device is, the autonomous device possibly that owns this, then we are creating self-sovereign identities and ownership records over data, and we are able to perform commercial transactions if we're using digital forms of money like cryptocurrencies. And if we do all of this in a decentralized, distributed manner and share it, then we get Web3. So the critical components are that we have clearly identified identity of who owns what, that we have digital objects down to the data or ownership record or whatever it is that is clearly identified and associated with the identity. Then we have the documentation of any kind of ownership and transfer of ownership, and we have the commercial platform in terms of digital money or cryptocurrencies that allow us to do that. And if we share all of this on a persistent shared data layer that is secured because it's decentralized, distributed, and immutable, and records all transactions, then we are able to perform any kind of peer-to-peer transaction between any person or any two people or devices and people and or devices with each other. And all of this is documented, and everybody can rely on the identity of the ownership being clearly documented and on looking at the same truth. There's only one truth. And from wherever we're looking at it, it is the same. This is extremely powerful, and this is the layer of the Web3 that provides the platform and the basis for any kind of commercial, social, and other kinds of interactions in the world, and allows for people to interact with each other in a totally different manner. And it is very secure, and without intermediaries, it's more efficient and frictionless. In order to do this efficiently, we need to have an ability to deal with all this massive data, and we need to have an ability to play roles like in real life, in the physical world, where we are different at work than at home, or when we are entertaining ourselves, or when we are educating ourselves. We're always playing different roles. And in the same way, we can now use avatars that reflect our identities or part of our identities, and we will reveal part of our identity as far as it relates to the ownership of data, of digital objects. And this is done in the metaverse, by immersing ourselves into these data layers and visualizing data. And this may sound very game-like and a little bit ridiculous to some people, but really what's happening is that we are getting rid of all these descriptions in Word and these entries in Excel spreadsheets to visualize information, because that we then email to each other and we look at it and the other side tries to figure out what do they mean with it. In the shared metaverse, we are actually immersing ourselves, and when we change the color of an object, it changes in front of our eyes and we all see the same reality. And if we're transferring ownership, we all do it and it is documented. And this is so powerful because it allows us to play different roles. It allows us to perform commercial activities, to collaborate in new kinds of communities, borderless, frictionless, across societies and traditional forms of societies, and perform any kind of scientific, social, political, any kind of interaction. And this is changing the way the global system works. If you are interested in finding out more, please check out foreignaffairsforum.org, and particularly Tectonic Essentials for Foreign Affairs, a course that I created to address some of these issues more in detail. Thank you.